I remember when my mom died, I wanted to wipe the slate clean. I wanted to sell everything. I wanted to throw everything out. I just wanted to start life over again. I don't know why I wanted to do this, but it felt like the right decision at the time. I used to think, okay, I can post all these things on Facebook Marketplace and then I can use that money to move away and start life over again. And thoughts like that used to run through my head almost every day. Whenever something went wrong, man, I'm moving soon, it won't matter. I broke something in the house, doesn't matter, I was gonna sell it anyway, so that's one less thing to sell. That's the way I was thinking, because it was like my life was shattered into a million pieces, and I just thought that leaving and starting a new life somewhere else would free me from the mental chains that were hanging over me. But as time went on, my situation changed, and to be honest, it got easier. I don't know if that's because the healing process was finally taking place after what felt like forever, but I started to feel okay with where I was and how I was living and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest, I used to hate coming home after being at my girl's house. I used to walk slowly down the hallway so I didn't have to be home for as long. I used to hate walking in the door. I hated seeing the house just empty and dead. My girl would tell you that my mom was teeming with life. Most of the time she was happy, especially when my girl came over, because they would make fun of the things I did when I was a kid, and it was just a good time for them, but I was the one being made fun of. Then after she died, it was like winter, you know what I mean? When all the leaves start falling and the trees start dying after the fall, like that. The house was just plain and bare and dead. Anyway, like I said, after a while, things started to turn around a little bit. I liked coming home. I liked sitting and playing games. I liked taking pride in keeping the house clean and keeping Chester fed, among other things. I should also put on the record that, yes, I didn't want to come home and stuff like that, but Chester was still taken care of at all times with a bowl full of food and clean water and a clean litter box. So just putting that on record. The thing I realized after going through this whole moving away and starting life over phase was that I was just running from my problems. I was running away from something I didn't want to face, which was unpaid emotional debt. And the only person that could pay that debt was me. I couldn't file for bankruptcy. I couldn't borrow the outstanding balance from someone else. It was up to me to sit down and hash out what was, going wrong and deal with it so I could start the path to recovery. I wanted to move away because I was depressed. I wanted to move because I couldn't stand coming home and not seeing my mom here. I couldn't stand coming home and going into my childhood room, which is this one actually, and getting waves of memories and getting sad about what had happened. I couldn't stand any of it, and that's why I wanted to move. I was running away from something, but me running from that thing wasn't gonna help me in the slightest. I just had to turn around and face it. The thing I've realized about life is that your problems are gonna follow you wherever you go. Let's say I moved, just for this situation. All I would have accomplished was selling everything, moving, and spending a hell of a lot of money to move, and then I would be in a new city, presumably by myself, and I would still have the same problems that I was having, just in a whole different and unfamiliar place. I would still be going through the grief, I would still be depressed, but I would just be in another place and a little poorer. It wouldn't have really made a difference at all. If anything, I would have been more depressed or anxious or something now, because that effect is compounded by the fact that I'm alone in this new place. You see what I mean? I'm not saying that you shouldn't pack up your stuff and leave. I'm not saying that you shouldn't sell all your stuff and use that money to go backpacking for a year or whatever. I fully support it, and I support you for following your dreams. Make sure if you do go, you tell me how it goes in the comments, but I just want to make sure that you're running towards something and not running away from something. Make sure you're running towards the freedom or the excitement of moving to a new city or starting a new job in a new city, and make sure that you're not running from your unpaid mental health debt or depression or anxiety, because those things are just going to get worse when you realize that you still have those issues going on, and now you don't have any of your friends or relatives to just come and sit and talk with you for a while, or even have them help you start paying down some of that emotional mental health debt. If you're in the same situation that I was in, the number one thing that you can do is to deal with your mental health issues first. I said a couple videos back that nothing is worth your mental health. Not your job or your relationship or your side hustle, nothing. You remember how there were an order of operations in school? I totally forgot how it went, so that shows you how much I paid attention in school. But if I find it, I'll put it up on the screen somewhere on one of these sides. Let's say that you have an array of problems. So let's say you don't like the way that your body is looking physically. Let's say your room is messy. Let's say you're fighting with your mom. Let's say you have a big test coming up and you haven't studied. You're having mental health issues. And let's say you're tired because you went to bed late because you were just up thinking. I do that one a lot. The number one thing that you should focus on first here is your mental health and getting that in order, because once that's in order, you have the mental fortitude to clean your room. You're gonna hash out your problem with your mom. That's 3 down already. You're gonna study for that test that's coming up. Then you're gonna go to bed early because you had a full day of cleaning and studying. Then all of a sudden you're waking up early and you're going out for a run to get your body, to sculpt your body the way you wanna have it. So you see how fixing one problem, which was the most important problem, set you up for success in fixing all the other problems? You can't go for a run when your mental health is in the wrong place, because what if you're running by a bridge and you got some really bad thoughts? You can't clean your room first because all you'll be thinking about is the depression that you're facing. Addressing your emotional debt is the first and most important thing to do when it comes to solving any problem, and it should be considered before making any life-changing decision also. I truly hope this video brought you some value, and I hope you stuck with me, there at the end, because I do have the tendency to get very passionate about things. And remember, if you're going through something, anything, and you just want to talk, my DMs or my social medias are linked down below, and my DMs are always open. And as always, thanks for watching. All right. I cut my hair and I shaved and I look like I'm 16 again. If only I could go back to being 16 with the knowledge that I have now. But hopefully there's some 16-year-olds in the audience that would actually listen to these videos. Anyway, let's get on with it.